chirurgicale, tactique de la Palestine, séisme artificiel. Contrôle de météo, je les vois petits comme si j'étais haut, j'enseigne la vie comme j'étais.
Now he's talking about the weather control, you know, HARP and all those things. They control the weather, they do a lot of things, man. It's great. You have to look it up. I could make a whole separate video about how they pollute the air on purpose in some countries. Okay, so we are back to the channel. I haven't uploaded for over 2 months, but now I'm back with Freeze Corleone, Fentanyl. It is a lyrics and references video, so we're gonna check it out, analyze the lyrics, what he's saying, checking out all of the references that he's making. So without further ado, let's start the track and let's see what he made. Got the Genius page open here.
Je m'en suis procuré. Et le gars qui me l'a vendu m'a dit, surtout, ne prends pas trop de ce truc. J'ai cassé un 1/8 de gramme en 3 morceaux. Je me suis injecté ça et je me suis écroulé juste là.
So what's happening here is somebody is talking about, this is actually on France 24, and this is actually a testimony, you could say, of someone using fentanyl, and this was actually on France 24, so it's a French news channel, and it was about the big success of fentanyl in Canada. So it's a very addicting drug. So that's basically the intro of the song. So let's continue. So just to give some perspective on who this guy is. Talking about the first time that he used pure fentanyl. Very addictive drug, by the way. Very addictive.
Gros terre, fentanyl, je coupe ma merde au fentanyl. Rasal, goal dans la ligue, je reste vrai, je reste dans ma ligne. Cubé comme l'époque, les fracs. Shenzhen, mes drogues, des fracs.
Again with the rhymes.
Inattendu quand je décoche des frappes, ni qu'un sioniste comme BHL. On a la logistique qu'il faut pour acheminer les colis d'un.
We got the first bars. We got the first bars already. So let's check it out. Okay. So what he's saying is the following. Big joint fentanyl, I lace it with fentanyl. Ras agul in the league, I stay real, I stay in my line. Then he's saying QB like in Lefrag's times. Shenzhen, my drugs defrag. And what does that mean? This is computer jargon, it means to reorganize files. So he's saying he's comparing the effect that defrag has on computers to what drugs do to the body. So it is actually a way to reorganize files. So let's say you have a lot of files on your computer, you can reorganize them. So defrag the files just like the drugs defrags your body. So he's comparing that. And then he's also saying F a Zionist like BHL. Of course we know who the Zionists are. They are doing the things in Palestine. But he also made another one, and that's Reis agul dans la ligue, je reste vrai, je reste dans ma ligne. And here it says he is the chef of an criminal organization, the League of the Shadow, and his mission is to take over a polluted planet, and his goal is to create a world that goes with his thought, so he can rule the world with his ideas. And this is also the name of the group of Freeze Corleone. And then the Zionist line is, this is a reference at Bernard-Henri Lévy. He is resigned the most, he's in the media they talk about him like BHL, that are his initials, because his name is Bernard-Henri Lévy. And he apparently is a Jew and he is a pro-Zionist. And here is a little testimony, I'm not gonna read it all. But he's basically saying like, I'm against this guy, I'm against Zionism. And also because BHL, of course, rhymes at DHL, that was his following line. And that was, we have the logistics to bring our stuff from point A to B just like DHL. So he's saying like, the way we transport the drugs is the same way as DHL transport the stuff. So interesting stuff right here.
en point B comme DHL. John Wall dans la peinture, 300 balles dans la ceinture. L'un texture comme si j'ai mis un peu d'eau dans de la peinture. Et s'il te plaît parle cash, négro, parle-moi concrètement. Allô docteur Medellin, c'est comment pour mon traitement?
So here he said, I'm calling to the Medellin doctor. So Medellin, you know, the coke, it's basically the coke capital in the world. So the city where a lot of drugs is transferred. And, you know, they export the drugs from Medellin to, let's say, Casablanca, Antwerp, you know, the world's most drug trafficking cities. So he's basically saying, like, I'm ill. I call my doctor from Medellin for the treatment. So basically he's saying he wanted drugs, you know what I'm saying? And let's go a bit further. He also said some nice thing about it's like a bar with lean. He's saying that it's something that he does with the lean, which makes it have a texture that's not liquid but more solid, and it looks a bit like yogurt. So it's basically his lean has a texture that make it look like a painting, because it gets, instead of a liquid form, it goes more to a vast form, just like yogurt. So also an interesting bar right there.
À Dakar, on connaît des Alonso, des Vic Mackey. Il a voulu s'allumer comme moi. Il a
Hey,
vite
the rhyme
laqué.
schemes. Look at the rhyme schemes. Vic Mackey, Vite Lackey, always in all his songs. Very clever.
J'ai les techniques des Tigordo. Galsen comme Yekini et Gris Bordeaux. Je connais Vlad Combo comme si je taffais chez Capcom. Dans les piles négro, je me sens comme si j'ai pas de corps. Pendant qu'ils achètent v'là les streams. Je veux les faf à Valve Steam. Elles sont le roi.
Hey, lots of bars. So we have to keep up with the bars, and I hope that this video won't take like 20 minutes or something. But let's go. So here he said, at Dakar we know the Alonsos and the Vic Mackeys, and Alonso is of course the name of the police agent from Training Day, of course, and Vic Mackey is a person. He is a personage from The Shield from Los Angeles. So you have to know these to understand the bar. And then another bar is, I have a techniques like Eddie Gordo. And this is someone from Tekken, the famous video game. And then he also said something like a wordplay with Bordeaux. So also interesting what he did here. And then of course again a line about streams and something about Valve and Steam. Valve is an American studio that makes games, and Steam is the platform which distributes the games. So yeah, that was another bar. And then here he said, Esso, the King, Enoch, radical tactic of Palestine. So here he's saying he has the radical rap flow, radical rap style, and it's the same tactic that Palestine uses against the Zionist Jews.
Radical, tactique de la Palestine, séisme artificiel. Contrôle de météo, je les vois petits comme si j'étais haut, j'enseigne la vie comme j'étais.
Now he's talking about the weather control, you know, HARP and all those things. They control the weather, they do a lot of things, man. It's great. You have to look it up. I could make a whole separate video about how they pollute the air on purpose in some countries, some regions. So yeah, we could make whole videos about that.
Alphonse, rap professeur, SO Bob, Danny, plus de tech que 4 processeurs. Tous les jours dans le labo, micro je me sens comme Dexter.
Of course, Dexter.
Dans la planque avec le plan, micro je me sens comme
Hey.
Lester. Bakout, j'écrase 7
The bars are crazy.
Je guette la bête à 7 têtes, série d'élimination, j'en suis à 7 têtes. SO DGK, Rockma, grosse frappe comme
DJ Drogba.
Vrai négro, jamais de ma vie, je danse sur une table.
And Paul Pogba, of course.
Dans
Hey.
les opiacés, SO Sobek, le croco des eaux glacées.
Here he's talking about the crocodiles from the pyramids, man. You know, it's hard to keep up because there are so many bars, but let's go. So, Sobek, the Croco. And this is, of course, something from Egypt mythology. And he is the god of water and fertility. And he is represented by like a crocodile, a humanoid crocodile, basically. And Sobek is also a rapper from his rap collective 667. That's also the name of one of the rappers of 667. So his rap collective.
Négro, SO les hauts placés, précis comme si joue chez OKC. Je roule des gros tassés, ça me fait mal quand je pense à des gens de qui je dois parler au passé. Self-made, équipe à fond, pas d'assistance. SRR 61, je règle la hausse par rapport à la distance.
From distance.
Damn son,
From
ils font bien
distance.
rire, haha, comme Nelson. Les gros, je les utilise pour rouler comme
He was also making a reference to The Simpsons. I'm gonna check it out because I don't want to mistranslate it. But he's saying they make him. It's also it's also a reference to, of course, Nelson Mandela, I think. That's also what's standing here. But in the first act, it's a reference to Nelson from The Simpsons, you know, with his famous laugh, like haha. And he's basically making reference to that famous laugh. So let's continue.
Concu, j'en fume des plaquettes, Médusa sur les claquettes, audio d'obus des craquettes, je suis comme Wilson sur les raquettes, Bluebeam c'est la NASA, mélange sirop à
Coming in with crazy contracts. Eden Hazard, famous Belgian. This is real deep, man. American propaganda, come just like Fallujah. So we have to dive a little bit deeper in that, man. So this was basically a city in Iraq bombed by the United States. More than 5,000 Iraqis died in 2004, and the city is known as like a let's say an operating base for Islamic State. But he's basically saying the United States used a lot of propaganda to bomb that city. But what is actually real? How many civilians were killed just because of the so-called rumors that Islamic State was there, present in that city? And they used a lot of propaganda to do so and to legitimize the war, but there were not so much evidence or proof that this was actually the case. So if you look at what the Americans have done in the past, it's actually horrendous how much things they can do without ever having to, you know, like they don't have to testify on why they did things. So nobody holds them accountable for what they did. So they have just bombed so many Iraqis and they can just get away with it. I think it's truly horrible what they did, man. It's the same thing in Palestine and other countries, Vietnam, also in Libya. They did so many horrible things. It's outrageous. Hey, this again was an eye-opener for everybody who is already on the verge of knowledge. This is why I like Freeze Corleone, man. He always has the knowledge, the references, the bars. But if you're asleep, you don't listen, you don't know anything, you're not gonna understand, man. But if you try to get the knowledge, if you look at different narratives, then you like this kind of rap. But if you don't like the more conscious rap, you just like those guys rapping about just nothing at all. Like sometimes it's just a vibe, I understand that, but like we need more substance. And I'm not talking about drugs, I mean substance in the tracks, man. We need something that tells the truth, that speaks something that we don't hear on mainstream channels. And that's what I like so much about Freeze Corleone. That's why I like these reactions. That's why I think they have more views than the other ones, because this has way more messages in them, way more real talk instead of just talking about regular stuff, you know, talking about drugs, women, weapons. That's just what all the rappers do. But the moment you talk about a deeper message, you know, then it's getting real. That's just my opinion though. If you like this reaction, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Give a few recommendations in the comment section. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care.